Hey guys, welcome
Hey,
back. Season
that
two.
made me feel like iCarly.
Oh, I love that. So fun. Guys, we're so excited for this episode. Like,
Hmm.
I feel like this is something that people never get enough of, which is relationships.
Of
Um,
course.
I can't tell you how many books and podcasts I've listened to, and I just never get tired of it. And honestly, there's a lot of cycled information, but sometimes I just
Hmm.
need to hear it, you
Yeah,
know?
hearing stuff on repeat is so good. I can tell you that me and my friends probably have the exact same conversation like 5 times a week.
Mhm. Mhm. It's those besties that you're just like, okay, so like this is happening and you just rehash and rehash and rehash.
Yes.
And
You just
such a
gotta keep
blessing.
beating a dead horse.
Exactly. Yeah, to really process through it fully. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're like really excited for this episode, and as we
Mhm.
know, Valentine's Day is here
Oh,
and the season of love slash loneliness. Um, you know, we're right there with ya.
yeah.
Like we're neither of us are manned up.
Mm-mm. No.
We're we're just two single gals living our
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's been fun.
Oh yeah,
And
we have
I'm
a,
getting a
a
little
good
tired of being
time.
independent though.
That's fair. Sometimes I'm like literally sitting here and I'm like, I was made to be a wife. I was made to be cared for in these
Hmm.
moments. Like I'm like, I just need a husband to carry me somewhere. Like,
No, literally. But before we start, I have my
yes.
question of the day.
Oh,
So
I'm excited.
I've got a massive mug here. It's not filled with tea like normal. It's filled with chicken soup.
Mm,
So my question of the day is on just like a cold winter day
hmm
when you get snowed in and it's just super cozy, you're in your favorite sweatpants, you've got a good book. What would be your favorite soup of choice?
Oh, I think I gotta go basic and go like a tomato soup, like a creamy
Oh,
garlic tomato soup. The place I work
okay.
right now, we have like this like it's like this amazing like creamy garlic tomato basil soup. So good. But we use cashew cream in it and it makes it
Oh,
so thick. It's so good. It's so good. And I think I would just be sipping away on that. What about you?
okay. Um, See, this is really hard. I am like a massive sucker for soups. Um,
Mmm.
I would probably have to say though, like a loaded baked potato soup.
Oh,
Hmm.
that
I
sounds
love me a good
good.
potato soup.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Nice and creamy. Leave it feeling all like full and warm inside.
yeah. Get some chunks of the potatoes in there while also like having it
Yes.
mashed. Then you've got the bacon bits in there, the cheese, maybe a little bit of sour cream on top and some chives.
Mmm.
So good. So good.
So good. So good. All right,
Yeah.
guys. Well, I mean, as we already kind of addressed, we're both single. So,
Yeah.
um, we kind of want to talk about like what it looks like to have that biblical kind of love, but also like in singleness, how we can pursue the Lord and what that looks like. How can you wait well?
Hmm.
All the good juicy deets that
Yeah.
you've I know been dying to know about our lives.
Our love lives.
Oh yeah. Um But yeah, what would you say is like the biggest thing that the Lord has taught you in this season of singleness?
Um, I would probably say the Lord's really just taught me, He kind of taught me two things. So the first would definitely be just like fully trusting and relying on Him. So just reliance on the Lord. That's definitely been like a big thing of when something bad happens. I guess in a sense, like my parents have always raised me like, hey, like if there's a problem, like we are always here to help, but we want you to try and figure it out first and then come and help. So I guess I've always been kind of raised independent. So that kind of like has transitioned over into like my spiritual walk as well of like, hey, like I need to figure out how to get through this on my own. And then like once I'm all better, like I could go to the Lord. And so, or like wanting a relationship, being like, oh, I want that one person that I can like do this with. And so the Lord's really just showed me like, hey, like I am sufficient for you. I am all that you need. Don't try and figure it out on your own and just like come to me with all of that. So
Mm,
that's been really great because I've also really just been able to see how my spiritual life has flourished.
mm,
There's still times when I'm like, oh gosh, like, am I growing? Am I not? Like, what's going on? Or I just like those bouts of confusion.
mhm,
But like looking back, I'm like, I can so clearly see growth and fruit that's being produced. And then kind of like tied in with that, the second thing he's really taught me is just a lack of control. I guess that's how I would word it.
mm,
Um, I'm type A in a lot of things. I like having control. I like to know what's going on. I like having a plan. And so like looking at my end of college, like I'm gonna be graduating in 3 months. We're both gonna be graduating in 3 months. And I can very much say like graduating is not really looking like what I thought it would.
mhm,
Mainly just like around a relationship standpoint. Uh, and so the Lord has just really taught me like, hey, like you're not going to have control. You're not always going to have all the plans. If you just come to me and rely on me, and that's where the reliance on the Lord comes in. Just like if you come to me, rely on me, like trust that I have a perfect plan for you. And like right now, that might not be my best, is having someone. And like I've talked with my friends about this so much, and we always just like kind of have the same conversations. But like you said earlier, like it's good to hear and repeat and have people speak truth into your life. And just like knowing that, hey, like right now being in a relationship is probably not what the Lord thinks is my best.
mm.
And to have me at my best and serve the purpose He has for me for His kingdom might be right now for me to be single. And that looks like me letting go of control of my life and just trusting in Him. So,
Yeah,
yeah. What about you?
absolutely. Um, I think the biggest thing that I have kind of, I guess, been taught, and I'm still like learning and figuring out is like, why am I searching for the kind of love in a man that I already have in Jesus?
So
Um,
true.
and it just like it hit me so hard. Like like I was literally watching an Instagram reel and this girl was talking about that and I was like, wow. And I feel like since then I've like started to see so much more just the way that Jesus like loves and cares about me in such a special, unique way. Like how just how beautiful it is. Um,
Yeah.
and I think like in that like there's so much more that I want to talk about with like that in mind. But also like yeah, like I definitely love to have control and like know those things and trusting that like God does not withhold a blessing. Like he's not cruel. Like he has a purpose in his timing and in his planning. And I might not see why I'm single in this season. And I'm honestly like, part of it is sometimes we just don't get to know why.
Hmm.
Like, we just, we don't. And maybe we couldn't handle it. Like, who knows? Um, but like, God does not withhold things from us to be cruel or just to be like, well, punishment, payback for not listening to me back here. Remember? Like he's so kind and he is so good and so loving. I heard this one podcast episode and this guy put it this way that like God is like divinely obsessed with you, so much so that he gave his son to die on a cross so that he could have your heart.
Yeah.
And just like how powerful and beautiful that is. And like he's not like obsessed with you in some like weird way, but it's like this divine obsession that we can't even wrap our brains around. Like we can't comprehend how much he truly does love us. I mean, like it's just so cool to like stop and think about like all the ways that he intersects our lives with other people's lives and like
Yeah.
just like down to every single little detail that it's like wow, he put so much thought and care into this. And I definitely like there's so many times where I'm right there with you where I'm like, God, I'm like kind of waiting here, like what what's going on? Like I thought I would be married by now. I like thought, at least engaged, at least have a boyfriend that was serious. Um, and
Yeah.
that's just like not where I'm at and trusting that like God, like I was like honestly really convicted when one of my friends was um saying to me, we were just like literally like putting up tables and she just like dropped this truth bomb on me and she was like, sometimes I complain and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm living in a season that the Lord does like designed specifically for me. Like what a
Yeah.
blessing that is to get to walk in that. Like
Mhm.
and I was like, wow, okay. I like it just like hit me so hard and I was like, okay, I am definitely so guilty sometimes of just like not sometimes, a lot of times of just like finding the things, finding the negatives or finding things to complain about because it's guys, it's so easy for us to find those things. It's so
It
easy.
really is.
Yeah. Um, and I think that's one of the things that the devil uses so much
Mhm.
and so easily is like just like shifting our focus slightly enough so that we won't
Mhm.
notice all the beauty and all the love that is just there waiting for us.
Yeah.
Um, so that's my little spiel, a little long answer to the question.
No. Yeah. Has there been anything um like in this season that even though you're not in a relationship, that the Lord has kind of like prompted conversations with other people or has kind of like taught you more about what to expect or how you want to act when you're in that relationship?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Um, Absolutely. I think something that I have learned so much, like just by like sitting back and observing and like listening, and I feel like I create these expectations in my mind for what a relationship or what a marriage should look like and how I should act. And I think the biggest thing is like choosing to respect your husband, but not because it's hard. He should be easy to respect.
Mm.
And also, there's this one mentor that I have that like she's such a wise lady, but making sure that you're choosing the best that God has for you. And she just was like talking about how it's so important to have someone that's easy to respect because number one, you're going to go through like you're basically picking someone to suffer with for the
Yeah.
rest of your life. And then also like you are the person that has to come home every day and spend your life with that person. Not the
Mm.
people around you, not your mom, not your dad, not your sister or your third cousin who has opinions about every single little detail of your life, but like in that like choosing well and waiting well. Um and I think I've like looking at different people's relationships, just like seeing like, okay, it's so important to marry a person of like quality and of character. And I just like yeah, there's so many like little things that can go into that, but it's really like really worth it to wait. Like feel like I finally am like so like sure in the fact that like I would so much rather be single for the rest of my life than marry the wrong person. Which
Yeah.
we can talk about like if there is a wrong person or a right person later.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I really do think though that like in that season, in this season, um, just pursuing the Lord so fully and so faithfully and just looking for that around you. That's like the biggest thing that's gonna hold any marriage, any relationship together,
Mm.
is having Jesus at the center. There's obviously lots of qualities that we all dream for and that list that we all have and lots of unrealistic things on there, I'm sure. I
Yeah.
like um but yeah, and I think um learning to see the qualities that you respect and you admire in other people and then like having the ability in this season to just reflect on, okay, do I possess those qualities?
Mm.
Or um, seeing the qualities of like other women and being like, wow, I like really respect how much you support your husband.
Mhm.
Like that's huge. And that
Yeah.
makes so much difference clearly. Um, anyways, what would you say is something that you really like are
Um, so kind of honestly, just echoing a lot of what you said of just like being single gives you a good amount of time for self-reflection, especially in your quiet times of like just going to the Lord and being in the Bible and looking at different things, being like, oh, like I didn't realize that this was something that I struggled with. And so just like working to fix those different things, like you talking about complaining earlier, it's like I do that as well because it's like I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is such an inconvenience, or like I would do this differently. Um, a lot revolving around school because I'm like, oh, I'm just so ready to be done.
mm-hmm.
But just having to remind myself, like, hey, like you're living in an answered prayer right now. Like 4 or 5 years ago, you were praying to be in this exact spot.
Yeah.
And so it's just like that mindset shift. Also definitely like learning different conflict resolution things has
Oh,
been
yes.
it has been major, especially like in the season that I'm in right now. I'm one of those people where I don't really like conflict, um,
Mm-hmm.
but also at the same time, like in that same way, I'll just let things like build up until it's like boom, just like a massive explosion, which like that's not like it would just be better to get the uncomfortable and awkwardness out of the way and be like,
Yeah.
hey, like I don't like that you did that. Then like all of a sudden one day the smallest like minor inconvenience just sets off like an atomic bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been really good because there have just been like different things in my life that there's been conflict raised, whether small conflict or honestly really big conflict that has severely damaged some relationships. And just like learning what that looks like and how to go about it in a very God honoring way, because
Mm-hmm.
that is massive for relationships in the future. Because obviously, if you are tying your life with someone else's, it's not going to be perfect. There's going to
Mm-mm.
be struggles, there's going to be conflict, and you need to be able to figure out how to go about that in a very mature manner. It's like if one day I pray I eventually have a husband, but if I like get
Mm-hmm.
annoyed that he leaves like I don't know, he leaves a glass of water out in our living room like every night and doesn't clean it up. And that's like something I have to do in the morning when I wake up. Like just sitting there and getting frustrated over it, but not saying anything does nothing. Like he can't read my mind. He doesn't understand. It's like you need to have that communication there. But then also on the flip side of that, of just like, say something has been done, really learning what true biblical forgiveness is and like
Yeah.
learning how to move forward with that.
Mm-hmm.
But also just like not always taking everything to heart and also knowing like, hey, guess what? Like not everything is going to be perfect. Because also, like what you were saying, of just like having that checklist of like, what is this guy supposed to be like? Um, you're never going to find the perfect man, and that's okay. Because I wouldn't want someone to get into a relationship with me and expect me to be perfect. Because let me tell you, I'm not.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh
And
man, that is, I
yeah,
didn't even think about that before now, and I'm like, man.
yeah. No, yeah. But then also, there was this one conversation. It was a really, really good conversation that I was having with a group of friends, um, because we were all getting ready for one of our other friends to get married. So we were out there for her wedding weekend, and we were all just kind of like talking and getting ready. And two of us were single and two were in relationships. And we started talking about different things like pertaining to relationships, and the topic of like boundaries got brought up,
Mm,
and also saying I love you. So
mm,
it was really interesting being able to talk through all of this because, one, when you talk about boundaries in a relationship, the
mm,
first thing your mind goes to is probably physical boundaries.
mhm.
Because
Oh,
like that's the
absolutely.
that's the thing that's most harped on, I feel like, in the church is like, hey, like physical boundaries are what shouldn't be crossed. Like,
Yeah.
don't do anything that you're not supposed to. Like, putting all of these lines that you're not supposed to cross. Like, don't sit in the dark with each other. Don't lay flat by each other, which, like, they're good
Yeah. There's
boundaries.
so many like little things, and then
Yeah.
there's so much gray area in there. And if you want to
Yes.
find a way around it, let me just tell you, you will
You'll
find a
find,
way around it.
yeah.
It's not that hard.
No, yeah. And so when we were talking about that, it's like you can't just focus on the physical boundaries in a relationship. You also need to
Hmm.
talk about the spiritual and emotional boundaries in a
Hmm.
relationship. Um, and I honestly was like a little confused. I was like, okay, like I can kind of see the emotional boundaries as
Hmm.
well. Because it's like, oh, like you don't need to go to this person with everything. Like they don't need to become your therapist and whatnot. Um, but I was like, spiritual boundaries, like, what do you mean by spiritual boundaries?
Hmm.
And it was explained to me like a triangle. So when you're in a relationship, let me see, there we go. So the triangle. So you have God up at the
Hmm.
top, or sorry, I'm trying to remember how it is. So you have emotional, physical, spiritual, or like it can all kind of like get switched around, I think.
Hmm.
So like say we have um physical boundaries here up at the top.
Hmm.
And for some reason you guys are like, "Oh my gosh, I'm really struggling," because we're like here on the physical boundary line. And so you guys are like
Hmm.
pushing that boundary. Well, your emotional and spiritual boundaries, if you're like pushing those, it's no wonder like your physical boundaries are going to start getting pushed because you're becoming more intimate, more close. If you're
Hmm.
going to that person with absolutely everything under the sun, then with the emotionality of it, you're going to be so far invested in it than what maybe
Yeah.
should be healthy for like a dating relationship. And then with spiritual boundaries, talking about those, I had never heard of them. And I was like, okay, so what do you mean by spiritual boundaries?
Hmm.
And that can look like not doing quiet time together, like meaning you can sit at a coffee shop and like do your separate quiet times, but both of you
Hmm.
should not be going through the Psalms together.
Right. Like that should not be tied to that other person. It
Yes.
should be your time with the Lord
Mm-hmm.
and their time with the Lord. You're not married, so you are not
Yes.
going to have that be intertwined yet because they
No,
could still
yeah.
be out of the picture one day, and you don't want that to impact that relationship that you have with the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
um, by taking
You
away
shouldn't,
from that.
no, yeah. You shouldn't become dependent on someone else
Mhm.
for your relationship with the Lord. And there are even
Mm.
married couples that they'll do like a Bible study together, but their quiet times are still separate because it is a personal relationship with the Lord. It's not me and my
Yes.
husband or me and my wife. It's my relationship with the Lord. And another
Mhm.
spiritual boundary could be like prayer. Like prayer
Mhm.
can seem very intimate. And
Yeah.
so just like obviously like you can pray with each other, like if something's going on or like pray for each other, but just like setting out time and like being alone and like I don't know. It's like hard to explain, I guess. And I wish I could remember exactly how this person explained it to me because it just made complete and total sense. But like, yeah, if you're starting to like cross some of those emotional and spiritual boundaries, like, yeah, no wonder you guys are starting to push limits on physical boundaries because you guys are getting far more invested at more of like a commitment level than
Right.
maybe what you should be doing at that level, which
Mhm.
it's so hard to get caught up in that because once you have like that connection, no one really wants to let it go and they just want to keep growing it.
Mhm.
But, and not saying that doing any of that stuff, like for some people that might work and you guys like are able to kind of like
Yeah.
separate it and keep things fine. But for other people, like that might be an emotional boundary or a spiritual boundary that needs to be put up of like, hey, um, like I really enjoy my time with you, but maybe let's not even do quiet times together, even if they're not the same, because I need to be able to focus on my own thing and do it without like wanting to talk with you or see what you're learning or rely on you to give me the information. Like I need to do it on my own. Uh, and then I also mentioned the I love you, which this
Yeah.
was something that really just got me to think because a lot of times, like our society, we use love in a very flippant way. Like, oh my
Oh
gosh,
yeah.
like I love pizza. Like, don't get me wrong, I love pizza. I
Mhm.
really do. But it's like we're just saying love is an emotion or a feeling. And while it
Mhm.
can be, biblically, it's not. Love
Right.
is an action. It is a
Mhm.
self-sacrificing action to every day wake up and put someone's life as more important than your own.
Mhm.
And so we were talking about like, hey, like, when are you comfortable saying I love you? Just like having that conversation between the girls of like, what does I love you mean to you? When would you be comfortable saying it or in a relationship? Um, and it really just like made me sit back and think of like, yeah, what do I truly feel like I love you means? Because for
Mhm.
some people, they won't say I love you until they're engaged
Mhm.
because that stands for more of a commitment. Because if you're going to say, I love you before you're engaged or before there's a true commitment there, that doesn't necessarily mean like you can't have love for someone. But in that
Mhm.
relationship environment of like, hey, this is a man and a woman looking at what their life could be like if they lived together and were an image or a picture or a shadow of what Christ is with the church.
Mhm.
And so it's like, are you willing to say, I love you and make that commitment? Or does it really not like mean that much to you? Because
Mhm.
everyone does things differently. Some people have no problem with kissing before they say, I love you. Some people want to wait till they're engaged to kiss. Some people want to wait till their wedding day to kiss. Like,
Mhm.
there's so many different things and different ways that people go about it because everyone's convicted in different ways. Everyone has different understandings and meanings
Mhm.
behind things. But yeah, it definitely made me think. And I was like, oh, like I very much see where like the saying I love you at engagement makes so much more sense because you have that
Yeah.
firm commitment. I'm not saying engagements can't be called off because they can be.
Mhm.
But yeah, it really just like made me think. And it also was like, hey, like that's a good conversation to have if and
Yeah.
when I do get into a relationship of like, hey, like this is where I stand on these things, just
Mhm.
so that later down the road, if I'm not comfortable saying I love you till engagement, if my future boyfriend, fiance, husband says I love you before we're engaged, he's gonna know I probably still have those feelings for him and I'm meeting him where he's at. I just will not verbally say it until there's that commitment. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know if you're under like if
Yeah,
I'm
I get what you
explaining it
mean. I
right.
get what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. And the right guy, I think, too, will respect that and
Oh
any
yeah.
boundaries that you do have and try his best to honor those. And I think it's so important for us to remember, too, that like we're all human. And so
Yeah.
if you do make a mistake or slip up or something, which yeah, honestly probably will happen,
Yeah.
um, like
If you're perfect,
then,
props to you, but I feel like you're
exactly.
lying.
Yeah. Um, but like yeah, like when that does happen, like there's grace and there's mercy there. And it's actually so interesting, the whole like topic of like engagement too, like when that should be brought up, when you should be talking about like getting married and all those things.
Yeah.
And I had someone tell me that unless a man is going to like getting ready to propose to you, he has no business telling you I love you. He has no business asking you if like what about what your life is going to be, or telling you that he's going to marry you unless he's on one knee asking you to marry him. And I was like, "Oh, okay. All right." I like because I think it's so easy to get so wrapped up in the idea of like we could get married that it's so easy to just jump to that part and
Yeah.
skip over like what really the purpose of dating is, which is to find out if you two are compatible to live a life together, to suffer together, to have children together, making those decisions side by side in a partnership. And
Yeah.
obviously, like the whole point of marriage is, yeah, to be a picture of Jesus and the church, and like, yeah, just be an image of like Christ's love.
Mhm.
And it's so easy to just like, I don't know, like be like not simplified, but like I'm trying to think of the right word, but like taken so much less seriously.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that like it should be so serious. Like I actually think that the beginning phases of dating, like it should be really slow and you should take your time and it shouldn't be
Yeah.
that serious, because going out to coffee with someone, saying yes to that doesn't mean you have to marry them. Like
I
it's
know.
okay. Like you don't have to know right away. Some people do know right away and that's great, but some people don't.
Yeah.
And
Me.
honestly, like it should be that time that you're taking to get to know that person intentionally, to take the time to honestly, like a lot of things in a relationship, you almost have to wait to just wait for something to come up and watch.
Yeah.
And which I feel like is almost harder and more frustrating sometimes because you're like, okay, so I'm just sitting around waiting to see how this person is going to respond in a
I
situation
know.
where they're confronted or whatever it might
Yeah.
be. Um, but yeah, and also like remembering that there is mercy and grace found in those situations, but you do have to be so careful because it's your heart on the line. And like
Mhm.
the Bible talks about in um Song of Solomon, like how she like builds up like the walls um of her love before like she's married. Like
Mhm.
before her lover comes, and like I just think that's so important, like for us to guard our hearts. Because I know for me, like I definitely tend to get really excited about plans, like
Yes.
really fast. And so
Yeah.
the second like that type A kicks in, it's like, okay, so actually target acquired. And then this step, and then this step, and then this step, and then this step. And before we know it, I've already planned out like what our house is gonna look like and what dress I'm wearing to the wedding and what my bridesmaids' shoes are gonna look like. And I
Oh
don't
yeah.
even know if I like this person's family. Like,
Well, I mean, all the girls always have to have a Pinterest board made, you know? Like,
it's true. You just gotta be prepared. But
no, yeah.
yeah, like it's so important to just, yeah, like take the time. Nobody is rushing you to marry this person. And if they are rushing you to marry this person, then that's
Why?
even more like cause to like, yeah, pump the brakes and be like, why? Yeah, exactly. Like there's not a reason to rush into something as serious as your life partner, you know?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And I think too, it just like, I don't know, dating as a whole is so misconstrued in our society so easily. Like we were
Hmm.
just talking about like on dating apps, like to do, to not do, like
Yeah.
what dating apps you do use, which ones are like, mm, better not. Like
Yeah.
It's
It's
portrayed,
rough out there.
it's right. Like, I don't even know. Like, I feel like I'm like, okay, God, you must be like, my future husband must be like praying like fearlessly right now that like
I know.
no man is in like 100-mile radius of
No,
me.
literally. I'm like, Lord, can we get my future husband a map? Because obviously he's lost and is too stubborn to ask for directions. Like, let's get this man a
I
map
love
already.
it. I love it. So funny.
No, but
But
yeah, the dating app thing is, yeah, it's
yeah,
something. I know
it's
for me, it's, I don't know, for the longest time I was like, oh, like, I feel like I'm taking control, like I shouldn't do that.
mm-hmm,
But I will confess, my friends convinced me to get on it this past weekend. Um, so, tried it out, but also like at the same time trying it out, the Lord used it to teach me more about like myself in that sense.
mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think by the point that we're recording this, I've only had it for 3 days. Um, and he's already like used it to show me more about like my heart of just like, hey, like you truly do value like the friendship and foundation of a relationship far more than just the romantic parts of it. And
Hmm.
it's so hard for me to feel that like connection on a
Yeah.
dating app when it's like 0 to 100. Like you match like the first thing people ask is like, what, like, so like dating wise, like, what are you looking for? I'm like, buddy, like, I'm not going to say I'm doing this for like social reasons, but like, there needs to be a foundation of friendship. And one of the dudes
Yeah,
I
like,
matched with, he asked me what I was looking for in a relationship. And I said, like, hey, like, I really value like a foundation of friendship. And he was like, yeah, when I've heard people say that, it's because they're just scared of commitment. And I was like,
oh,
pause.
yeah, people say crazy stuff on there, man.
I know. And then
Like,
he ghosted me. So I was like, okay,
oh, nice.
it's okay. Like the Lord uses it for a reason and a purpose. So,
Yeah,
like,
and
I'm
honestly,
not,
like, there is a place, and I've seen so many people that like they meet their person on there, and
yeah,
that's great, and I'm so happy for them. I just don't think it's gonna be me.
no, I know. And it's like, my best friend was recently like, she was trying to convince me to get on the dating app, just being like, hey, like, just try it, just do it. And like, she knows I've always said, like, I don't like the 0 to 100. And also, like, I feel like I'm doing something wrong and taking control from God. And
Mm,
so she read something to me, and I wish I remember exactly what it was, but it's like if you're going in with the heart attitude of like, yes, Lord, like I'm gonna get you at your game and like now I can have control, like, yeah, obviously that's wrong. But if you're
hmm.
going in with the mindset of like, you know what, the Lord is gonna use this how he wills it and
Hmm.
like move forward with that, like it's not a bad thing. So people shouldn't be scared of it because like that's what our society's going towards. Like everything's
Yeah.
online. So many people are meeting each other online
Yeah.
at this point. But also know like it's okay if that's just not your thing. Or even if
Yeah.
it's not your thing now. Because maybe
Hmm.
5 years, 10 years down the road, if I still don't have someone, hey, maybe I'll pull that dating app back out and maybe it'll work for me. But at
Yeah.
this point in time, like it's just, you know what? I'm just gonna let the Lord work in my life and it's just not for me at the moment.
And that's totally fine. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, it is one of those things like, yeah, absolutely. Like the Lord will use those things. Like he does use those things in people's lives. But yeah, like the heart attitude behind it is huge. And just in
Yeah.
dating in general. Like
Hmm.
I know people that are like so desperate for just the attention of a relationship or don't know how to function without that sort of partnership where they do go to them and tell them
Yeah.
like everything all the time. And it's so hard to break patterns like that if that's all that you see and if that's all that you know. Um, and I would so recommend reading, there's this one book called Christian Boundaries in Dating. And honestly, I like that book, like, it was really, really good because it just talks about so many different levels and layers of boundaries outside of physical. Like it
Hmm.
talks about like emotional, like even doing like things like I remember this one example. of a couple that like the girl wasn't I think the girl wasn't very like she didn't push herself to be very like extroverted or something, and so when she started dating this guy, like he was super extroverted, so she relied on him in that way to and like almost followed him around like a puppy, and
Mm,
that's how she would like interact in like social engagements, and like it would always be him like planning things with his friends, and like she would like kind of just like come along and kind of like and wouldn't really like branch off from him, and just like the importance of like being two separate people still, and growing and challenging one another, like sharpening each other in that relationship, but also not like being codependent, because that's also super unhealthy.
no, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But um let me see. Pull out one of
Yeah.
the
I will
questions.
say, I will
Oh, go
say
ahead.
probably the last, I guess, like soapbox I have, um, because it's taken me a long time to get to this point. And I think I mentioned it because I think we did a relationship episode last season too. And I think I mentioned it in that recording as well. But singleness is not a bad thing. There was
Mm-mm.
an Instagram post that a friend shared with me, and it really just kind of like helped me. Um, but it was talking about how marriage and dating relationships are not heaven and singleness is not hell. So it is okay to be where the Lord has you because He's going to use that for a reason and for a purpose. And just knowing that, like, hey, like it's okay. And it's also okay to have those desires because that's
Yeah.
something that I wrestle with all the time of like, the Lord has given me these desires, but He hasn't given me like the fulfillment of that. And I haven't
Mm-hmm.
seen how that's going to be fulfilled. And like, that's okay. Like, we've both said, like, heart attitude is so important in
Yeah.
both aspects of singleness and relationships and just pretty much anything in life. But knowing that, like, hey, like, it's okay. And having the heart attitude to just like go to the Lord of like, I am really just disappointed and confused because
Mm.
you've laid this desire on my heart. And so just like knowing like, hey, it's okay to be where you're at right now. Like it's okay to be single. Singleness is not
Yeah.
a punishment. It's not a
Mm-mm.
prison.
Mm-mm.
And just like finding contentment in the things and where the Lord has you because He has you in this place for a reason and a purpose. And you're gonna like find it out eventually, whether that's to grow you spiritually or whether that's to do some wonderful work for the kingdom of God, or even just to be able to spend time with your close friends because He knows that they need counsel in their life for different reasons or purposes. So, yeah, I guess that's my little last like big kind of like push of like, hey, like it's okay. Don't feel like you have to be rushed either. Like just because
Yeah.
you're single and everyone else around you is in a relationship, don't feel like you have to be rushed, whether that is a desire or it's not a desire. Like the Lord is gonna move everyone at their own pace in His own timing. And so just knowing that like where you are is where the Lord wants you, and He has a very specific purpose for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, and God didn't forget about you either.
Hmm.
Like He sees you exactly where you are, and He loves you so much, and He's not gonna leave you if you're feeling like so like defeated and disappointed and like, okay, like Lord, like I have these desires and like you haven't fulfilled them. Like He wants to meet you in there, like in those desires, in that sadness and that disappointment. And also
Hmm.
it's okay to be disappointed. Like,
Yeah.
and to feel all of those feelings. It's healthy actually to feel that, and to like if you are having those, to express that. Um there's this one book that I'm in the middle of reading right now, and it's called Single Shouldn't Suck. And it sounds corny, I know, I know. But it's like it's been so encouraging because she just kind of like goes through and talks about like her singleness years, and it's like super funny and super fun, but also just like seeing the Lord so evidently and so clearly in her life, and just realizing like, whoa, like he's there for me too, like in so many ways that like I don't even see, and he's working things for my good in ways that I don't even like comprehend. Like the other day, I was just like having a rough day, and I was like driving to work, and I was like, Lord, I don't think I can do this. Like I am so tired and so exhausted. Like need your strength. Like
Mhm.
there's no way I'm gonna be able to do this. It's like always busy this night that I was working, and I kid you not, slow. Like such a slow night. And I was just like,
Beautiful.
thank you, Jesus, so much. Like, I was literally like vacuuming the rugs, like almost crying. Because I was like, I can't believe that, like, you love me that much that, like, you would, I don't know, just like give me like a night that, like, was just chill and exactly what I needed. And I was
Mhm.
just like, kind of like, wow, that's so cool. And, like, not only does he love me that much, but he has more power than anybody else to do
Yeah.
anything that you ask.
Hmm.
Um, which is just so cool, guys. It's so cool.
It really
Um,
is.
yeah. And also, like in the season of singleness, I think it is so important to, yeah, just figure out the things that you like, figure out the things you don't like. Like your life does not revolve around when you get married or whether or not you have a spouse or a partner or are talking to someone. Like live your life because and enjoy it because like you only get one.
Yeah.
Like, so do you want to look back and be like, oh man, I was moping around the whole time? Or do you want to look back and be like, oh my goodness, do you remember that really fun time that me and the girls went and did this or did that? Or like I went on like that trip by myself or like went and hiked that mountain that I had no experience for.
Yeah.
Um, like you don't have to wait for that person to have those fun adventures and those exciting stories. Like do those by yourself, do those with your friends, like, and it's also okay to want to date and to be dating and like not find what you're looking for. Like
Mhm.
I think for a long time I saw dating as a means to an end, which it is, but if I like wasn't super serious like right off the bat in my brain, then I was like, well, like I'm in this season of like singleness and like hardship and like all this stuff and like in all reality like I don't know, I guess I just want like for myself at this point, I just want it to be like a okay, like yeah, like I'll go on a date with this person. No biggie.
Mhm.
Like just a part of my life, not like a okay, now we're shifting to this like section to where it's dating now, and now we have to like rearrange all these other things and like
Yeah.
yeah, it should add to your life. It should never
Hmm.
take away or replace. Um, and you should never ever settle, guys. Like it's just so
No.
not worth it. I
Yeah.
heard somebody once say that like settling is the assumption that I can pick right now better than God can provide later.
Hmm.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. No. Yeah. I've also had a lot of conversations about that too, of just like finding your worth and
yeah.
knowing because one, you have to place your identity in Christ. Once
Yeah.
you do that, you will start to find your worth and truly know what it is because you are a daughter of the King. Like you mentioned
Hmm.
earlier, you have been shown, all of us have been shown what true love is, that someone would love you enough to die on a cross for you, give their life, and not only that, but die in one of the most humiliating and painful ways that you possibly could die. But
Yeah.
he loved you that much that he was like, you know what? I'm going to do it because I love her. And also, the Lord says so many wonderful things about his daughters, of saying, like, we are more precious than rubies. I'm a July birthday, so like ruby is my birthstone. They are a precious stone, let me tell you. Like, there are them out there, but like there's few and far between. It's not like we're just lab creating a bunch of these things, which there are lab created rubies, but like rubies are a precious stone because there aren't a whole lot out there and they're worth so much. And knowing that the Lord is saying you are worth more than that, you are more precious than rubies, worth more than gold and silver. A godly woman, like, who can find, like, a man who finds a godly woman is blessed above all else. Like, the Lord cares for you. He loves you. He knows you. He knitted you together in your mother's womb. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. So just like resting in those truths and telling yourself that, to constantly remember, like, hey, like, if I am gonna date a man and he can't even treat me with like the respect of doing whatever, like, say, like, he can't even
Mhm.
remember your birthday and y'all have been dating for a while, to where like he should know. If he can't even show you that kind of like love and decency, like, how is he going to cherish you the way that Christ does? Obviously, no one can cherish you the way Christ does, but like, it's
Yeah.
supposed to show
That's
you
the kind of
an
love we're
example of
looking
that.
for.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
know your worth.
Absolutely. Yes. I feel like maybe we should do like a little episode on that at some point. Like, it's just so important, and like discovering who you are as a daughter. And like, I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and we were just talking about how like God treats his sons and daughters differently. Like,
Mhm.
it's just the truth, and like how like delicate and like precious we are in his eyes. Um, yeah, don't you forget it, girl. Like,
Mhm.
you are
Never.
like so special and so precious. And you
Yes.
never deserve a man that it does not recognize that. And no man is perfect, and everyone is going to fall short.
Hmm.
But there's a big difference between a man that pursues you and loves you well, and a man that makes excuses about why he can't do that.
Hmm. Yeah. But yeah, when you find a true man of God, like, you'll be able to tell.
Yes, absolutely. And there's so much to be said too about like seeking the Lord's voice in that and in that season, and like listening to those around you. But that's all the time we have for today, guys. We've been yapping for a
Yeah,
while.
I know. I feel like we could go on for hours with this.
I know, right? Like, why not make like a three-part episode on this?
No, literally. Like, if this is something that y'all want to listen to, like, let us
We could
know.
do
Like,
like
hop
a whole
on.
season just on
No, yeah.
relationships.
Literally, like, follow our Instagram.
Mhm.
Uh, it's Roots and Radiance. It's R&R.
Mhm.
Or, yeah. Um, so just look up Roots and Radiance on Instagram, find us, like,
Yeah.
message us, comment on posts, like, let us know what you guys want to hear, or like if we say something you want to hear more about it, like, let us know. We will gladly talk about anything and everything because, one, we love it, and
Yeah.
two, it also helps us because in doing all of the prep, like looking at stuff for these episodes, like, we're learning just the same as you guys are.
Yes.
And you guys might have differing opinions or a different mindset on it or a viewpoint. And it could be like, it could help us too. So, like, feel free to share those. Like, just let us know.
Yeah. But we love you guys. God loves
Yeah.
you. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Bye.